How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Black Metal Rebellion, and I'm here today to do a kind of retrospect on one of my favorite bands in black metal, and that is Immortal. This is definitely a band to check out if you are just getting into black metal. I highly recommend you do so. I'm going to be going through their discography and kind of talking a bit about different things within it, and kind of introducing you to them and maybe convincing you to give them a shot. Um, Now, despite some of the silly videos and whatnot, and some of the memes that are going around of Abbath and some of the weird Immortal videos, like I said, they are actually a really, really good band. And Immortal started around 1991. They were founded around that time by Abbath and Damonaz. And they've had kind of like a foray of just different drummers throughout their discography. Um, and Before Immortal, Abbath was actually in a band called Old Funeral, um, which is kind of more of a thrashy death metal band with some doom elements here and there, with slight kind of first wave black metal sounds. But yeah, he was in this before he was in Immortal, and it was pretty good. Um, like, Varg was also in this, as well as a couple of other kind of bigger names and the black metal scene in Norway back when. But definitely check out Old Funeral if you're interested in hearing what Abbath used to do guitar-wise, maybe even vocal-wise. I'm not sure if he did vocals in this or not. But this is kind of like a compilation of all their different demos and live stuff, for the most part. Really cool stuff. I think I got it for about 19 bucks shipped. Decent stuff. As well, besides Old Funeral, I believe Damonaz and Abbath were also in a band called Amputation. Um, they disbanded in 1990 and only released 2 demos, but if you can find that stuff on YouTube or whatever, definitely check it out if you're interested in pre-Immortal Abbath and Damonaz stuff. Alright, now the first album, uh, well, before this album actually was an EP, or a self-titled EP by Immortal called Immortal in 1991. But after that, they kind of started beginning their black metal style and doing just basically first wave black metal style, or second wave black metal style, sorry, that you'd expect out of Norway. Um, Pretty decent. Full Moon Diabolical Mysticism was the only album to feature the drummer Armageddon, which is like a long, like I said, one of the long list of different drummers they had. But this was the only one that actually featured him on it. It's pretty good. The only track that I'm not a big fan of on this is A Perfect Vision of the Rising Northland, which is kind of like an acoustic, really slow type of song, and didn't really tickle my fancy all that much. Uh, but yeah, it's an alright introduction to the band, and it's definitely a classic. So check that one out. The next one is Pure Holocaust. This is the one that a lot of people kind of claim to be their favorite Immortal album. This one kind of is a little bit faster and darker than Diabolical Full Moon Mysticism. It's got crazier riffs, more fast speed with it, a little more darker black metal sounding to it, very lo-fi and grim. And speaking of grim, Grim is actually featured on the front of this one, uh, but he didn't do drums for this album. He's credited on there as drums, but it's actually Abbath who did the recorded the drums for this album, so it's kind of odd that he's featured on there, and I don't really know why he is. Um, but hey, this is definitely a really good album. This is definitely better than their first one, in my opinion. And there's definitely a reason why it's on a lot of people's lists as the best Immortal album. And if you're going to check it out, I definitely recommend checking out Immortal's Pure Holocaust album. Just trying to think of any songs that really speaks to me. The Sun No Longer Rises. It's pretty sweet. A Sign for the Norse Hordes to Ride, Frozen by Ice Winds. But that's just a couple. Definitely check out Pure Holocaust. The next album is Battles in the North, their third album. Pretty good. It kind of continues along the same lines as Pure Holocaust. It's the last album to kind of have Abbath doing some drums on it, and basically picks up where Pure Holocaust left off. Fast tempos and lo-fi, grim production. Can't really see the song titles on here. It has a Battles in the North self-titled track, Through the Halls of Eternity, Throned by Black Storms, Grim and Frostbitten Kingdoms, and then Blashirk, Mighty Raven Dark, and they kind of focus a little bit more on the Blashirk thing in this, and tales from that in this and the kind of upcoming albums. But this is actually really, really good. Not too many talk about this one when they talk about their favorite Immortal albums, but it's definitely up there. Does pretty much what Pure Holocaust does. I think it's really good. But yeah, so that is Battles in the North by Immortal, and is the fourth album. This is the last one before Daemonaz ends up quitting, but this is the fifth album, Blizzard Beasts. This I consider my favorite album because it has Mountains of Might on it. Just the riffs in it are absolutely insane. Really, really enjoy it. It's the last album to feature, like I said, Daemonaz on guitar, because he ends up getting tendonitis in 1997, and that's where Abbath actually starts picking up the guitar and doing that instead, and then they have to get a few different bassists after that. This album is more shorter song lengths too, because prior to this album they normally had like quite long song lengths, and this is an album that has Horg, I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name properly or not, but Horg on drums. He's a pretty decent drummer too. Like he's got quite the chops, let me tell you. And this album has some very slight death metal influences on it if you hear certain riffs and whatnot. So definitely give it a shot. Definitely check it out. Like I said, it's my favorite Immortal album. But yeah, that's Blizzard Beasts, number 5. Alright, now this next one, number 6, At the Heart of Winter, is another one that the people who don't claim Pure Holocaust, they claim this one is their favorite Immortal album. And, you know, it's got some really cool riffs. They switched up a bit in this, and they start kind of going a little bit more thrashy sounding. Still like black metal, but they start having a little more thrash riffs in there, more than likely thanks to Abbath being on guitar. And this album is basically where Peter Tetchkin starts producing the sound, and it starts to kind of get a little samey as it goes on after this one. So there's a few people that like that, and there's some people that don't really like that. One being Brain Smasher. Brain Smasher really does not like the fact that Peter Tetchkin has been producing the Immortal albums since At the Heart of Winter, and I think he said that At the Heart of Winter is their worst album. So it kind of gives you a perspective of where people are with this. Some people really, really love it and like the direction that Abbath took it and Peter Tetchkin took it, and some people really, really do not like the new sound and really miss Daemonaz on guitar and the kind of like grim, kind of more lo-fi production. I like it. It's still pretty good. Really good tracks on here. At the Heart of Winter is really, really good. Where Dark and Light Don't Defer. Tragedies Blows at Horizon. Solarfall. But yeah, there's some pretty decent tracks on here. Even though Peter Tetchkin kind of smooths it over and kind of beefs it up a bit production-wise, and it's not your typical kind of grim, frostbitten, lo-fi black metal sound, but it's decent. But yeah, so that's number 6 in the Immortal discography, At the Heart of Winter. This next one gets overlooked a lot. This is their 7th album, Damned in Black. I really enjoy this album. I don't know why it's so overlooked. Probably because it's in between the At the Heart of Winter and Sons of Northern Darkness. So a lot of people who enjoy the Peter Tetchkin era, I guess, of Immortal really enjoy At the Heart of At the Heart of Winter and Sons of Northern Darkness, and kind of just forget about Damned in Black for some reason. Damned in Black is the first album, by the way, to feature Iscaria on bass. He's on this one and Sons of Northern Darkness. But yeah, this is a really good album. Kind of still has that black and thrash sound that Abbath has been putting into Immortal at this time. Wrath from Above, My Dimension, The Darkness That Embraces Me, Damned in Black. Yeah, there's, like I said, there's some decent tracks on here. Definitely don't skip this if you're going to check out Immortal. There's some decent tracks on here, especially if you enjoy the Peter Tetchkin / Abbath era of Immortal. So that's their 7th album. Yup. Alright, number 8, like I said, is Sons of Northern Darkness. I got the deluxe edition, so it looks a little funky, and it's got some bonus DVD on it, which honestly isn't the greatest, but yeah. Sons of Northern Darkness was the last album they made before they kind of broke up for a little bit, and I just think it continues basically in the vein of Damned in Black. It has that black and thrash element on it, and this is I think this is the last album to feature Iscaria on bass, but I'm not sure. The bonus disc on this has a live set of Immortal during the Metal Gods tour in the US, live at BB King's, but it's so dark you can't really see too much of what's going on at the stage. It's really far back. The pixel quality is trash, and honestly you might as well just listen to this if you're going to do anything, because you can't really see much. But yeah, still pretty decent Immortal album, and I got the patch of that on my battle jacket too, so that's cool. Now, like I said, Immortal took a little bit of a hiatus or break or split after Sons of Northern Darkness, and they Abbath kind of got together with Armageddon, one of the original bass players, or sorry, one of the original drummers for Immortal, and he wanted to do a project with him. So we got together with King of Hell from Gordoroth and R. Weisdale from Enslaved, and he made this amazing thing. They made and the album was Between Two Worlds. This is fantastic, kind of a hidden gem. A lot of people kind of don't know about it or overlook it, and I definitely recommend picking up a copy if you can. It's a little rare, so it might cost you a teeny bit. It's on Nuclear Blast. Maybe check eBay or Amazon. But this is a really good side project with Abbath and King of Hell, and like I said, Armageddon, and then the dude from Enslaved who goes by Ice Dale in the credits here. But yeah, this is really good. This is basically just great heavy metal with some thrash metal elements with Abbath's vocals on top of it. So it's kind of got that sort of black metal feel, but it's mostly like traditional heavy metal with some thrash metal and slight, maybe just so very slightly black metal elements in it. But yeah, definitely check it out. Really cool, and just a gem, hidden gem. So after that, they took a little bit more of a break, and then they finally got back together for a quick recording session to make All Shall Fall. This is probably my least favorite Immortal album. I'm not a big fan of this one. It's basically what Damned in Black and Sons of Northern Darkness did, but like the B-sides. It feels like a B-sides album of those kind of albums. There's still like the interesting, like thrashy, somewhat thrashy black metal, but it just seems very cookie cutter. It seems like this was the last trick up Abbath's sleeves, and just kind of didn't really show anything super duper new or crazy. Um, but I still have to get it because it's immortal, um, and I'm kind of a completionist. And yeah, this this is kind of one of those albums you kind of get if you really love Immortal, or if you really love the Abbath Peter Tetrigan era of Immortal, and want to kind of get everything by them. So there's not really anything that pops out on in my mind like a decent track on here. It's all kind of like samey to me. I can get better versions of these tracks on Sons of Northern Darkness or Damned in Black, and definitely At the Heart of Winter. So yeah, that's all the current released Immortal albums. There's going to be a new one apparently coming out soon, with Daemonas returning to guitar and actually taking over the vocals since Abbath's departure. So that'll be neat to see what Daemonas can do, considering his tendonitis problem back in '97. Maybe it's gotten a little better. Maybe he's just chosen to compose some riffs that don't take a toll on his wrists and his, his hands playing guitar. And Daemonas does have a solo project or solo album out. It's okay. It's not my biggest cup of tea, but definitely check it out if you can. Just look up Daemonas. I don't think it's self-titled. It's got some long name to it, but check out Daemona's solo album if you can. And the last thing I'm going to show, since it's kind of Immortal related, is the Abbath self-titled album. This was good. This was definitely better than All Shall Fall. This is the album that should have came out instead. Like, lots of great songs on here. To War, Ashes of the Damned, Ocean of Wounds, Count the Dead, Fenrir Hunts, yeah, Winterbane. Well, just pretty much every track on here is pretty good. And if you're a fan of Immortal, definitely give this a shot. But yeah, so anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. This has kind of been my retrospect and kind of look back on what Immortal's done and kind of different albums they've come out with, and kind of my opinion on each little album, and some little trivia and tidbits here and there. And like I said, if you're new to black metal, definitely check them out and, go through the discography. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know what your thoughts on Immortal is. Let me know what your favorite album is. Let me know what your least favorite album is. Have you been able to check out the Between Two Worlds album by I? Let me know if you've checked out the two demos by Amputation. Let me know what you think about Immortal. The pre-Immortal stuff with Old Funeral and Amputation. And let me know if you're going to pick up the new Immortal when it comes out. Anywho, that's all I got for now. I'm probably going to be doing a top 10 black metal albums in my collection, kind of a revised version, because the last time I did that, I didn't have a lot of the albums I have now. So that's coming up, and I believe I might be actually getting a black or a Metalhead box for February, but it probably won't be coming until the first week of March. So look forward to those things in the future. For Glory, for the Rebellion, Slammerell out.